Now, before we continue, let's build another cryptocurrency with the same libraries. So let's start another Visual Studio, and let's open a project solution that we already have. And how about this one? And let's see if we can build a release version. We'll make it honest. We'll say clean. And we'll say build. And again, I won't bore you, but I will pause and come back when this one is done. And here we are back at the finish, about 13 minutes later, with a fresh version of Bitcoin Daemon. And you can see there it is, all built. And the only difference between this project and the Bitcoin project is there's a slight difference in which library files it needed. The paths are identical. Matter of fact, it's part of Visual Studio. It wasn't part of either project. This hasn't changed. It's still the same. It's for any project. Okay, what is different for Bitcoin is which libraries. We look in the linker, input. We recognize the same OpenSSL, the same Berkeley database, but no LevelDB because this is from an earlier version of Bitcoin, and a certain number of Microsoft libraries used by Windows calls in the Bitcoin source, and that's the only difference. Okay, back to Bitcoin. We're here. That covers everything. Notice that nowhere is any specific directory forced upon you, nor were you required to actually type a path anywhere. All selections were done from dialogues. Less chance for typographical errors, backslashes, forward slashes, etc., etc. Build times seem surprisingly short on occasion because of caching and the IntelliSense in the IDE, I presume. But the real beauty is the ability to do real-time debugging in a GUI and the ability to have fast turnaround. This allows one to test various scenarios in a short period of time. So let's make this window a little smaller. First of all, there's the Bitcoin behind. And let's just, even though we're in release mode, I've set a few breakpoints. Yes, you can still debug to a certain extent even in release mode. And let's run it. And so here we go. Bring the window over here so you can see it. And it just broke after signing on. Notice I stopped it just before it says anything except the boost herald. It says Bitcoin version 0.86 with the Microsoft Visual C++ in there. And so we'll run a little further. And we're down just past where it says, if you're familiar with Bitcoin sources, where it gives the OpenSSL warning version, by mistake. And notice mine says OpenSSL 101G, because that's what I linked with. But notice it also tells me what Berkeley database version I use, 4.830, what LevelDB, 1.13, and what Boost, 1.53, what Visual Studio compiler version, what build version, etc., etc. So let us stop this debug and say that's just a short demonstration. Also, living inside Microsoft Visual Studio conjures up the notion of native Windows applications. So, see you all on the Building Headless Bitcoin and Bitcoin Qt for Windows forum on bitcointalk.org. There's the URL. And also on Claire's forum, now at GitHub Bitcoin 086 for Visual Studio 2013, 32 at 64-bit and Qt 5.2, and other alternate currency forums. That concludes this short video series on Microsoft Visual C++ and building Bitcoin daemon with static multi-threaded libraries. This is Old Z Coder saying bye all.